So this monthly's topic is flowers, and I thought it'd be interesting to talk about the different parts of a flower. What is the purpose of a flower? Well, the purpose of the flower for us is to share these bright colors with our significant others during Valentine's Day, give them to mom during Mother's Day, which is actually tomorrow. But in nature, it is the purpose of a flower is for reproduction, the making of a new plant. So there are several parts of a flower that are pretty consistent through all flowers. There might be variations with them, but one of the main parts of a flower, the one you recognize the most, are these guys right here, the petals, the bright colored part of a plant, the petal. Now, what's the purpose of the petal? Well, the petal is designed to draw insects to the flower because you need the insects to come in and explore the flower and pick up the pollen that is needed to move from plant to plant to start fertilization. We call it pollination. And then that starts the process of reproduction. So these right here are the petals. Inside these lovely petals, if you can see this, inside this lovely petal are the male and female parts of a flower. Now, the parts that you see right here, by touching, that is the male parts of the reproduction. That consists of the thing that I'm touching called the anther, and then there's the filament, and the filament holds the anther up. The anther is where the pollen is produced, and if you take your fingers, sometimes you can touch them and you can actually get pollen on your hand. You can see it on my finger here. It's a little brown in this case. Now, that's the male part of it, called the stamen, all of it together. Now, inside right here is the female reproductive part of the plant, and that's called the pistil. And the pistil consists of the stigma, which is where if you look, I just put the pollen on, and that's what we want to happen. And then you have the style, and then you have the ovary, which is way down here. And that's where the seed is produced. And that's the reproductive process of a flower. Now, I have in my hand a tulip. And I thought it'd be a little information in a tulip, that tulips were grown wild, and they were first noticed and starting to be cultivated about 1000 AD in Central Asia during Persia and the Ottoman Empire, Turkey, that area. And it wasn't until about the 16th century that it moved into Europe. And then once it got into Europe, a country we know as the Netherlands, really cultivated them and became known as the tulip capital of the world. Last year alone, the Netherlands produced 3 billion tulips that were sent and imported and exported, I should say, to other parts of the country. So those are the parts of a flower. Now, it's really cool. I can sit here and I can take it, and yeah. So here is my tulip. Here is my petal. Here is the anther, which produces the pollen, and then the filament that holds it up. This is called the pistil, which is the whole female reproductive organ. The top of this is called the stigma, where I just put the pollen on. Then I have the style, which connects the stigma to the ovary, which is right down here. Move that out of the way. And it's the center part here, and that's where the seeds are produced. So, parts of a flower.